Hello, I'm Tom Christiano with the Chelmsford News, and I'm here with the editor of the Chelmsford Independent, Margaret Smith. How are you, Margaret?
I'm doing fantastic, Tom. Thanks for taking the time out to chat with me today.
Oh, my pleasure. We've been trying to do a little interview for quite a while now, I
have.
And how long have you been the editor, by the way, of the Independent?
I've been the editor now, I was thinking about this the other day, since November. It's been 4 years, so I'm starting my 5th year.
Wow, starting your 5th year, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And how do you like it so far?
Well, I have to say, Tom, I really do love it. I love being a journalist. It's my career. It's my passion. It's a career I've had for about 28 years now.
You don't look old
enough to
have
I was a prodigy. So right out of the cradle. So and I love all the communities that I've covered, because each community, whether city or town, is special and has its own challenges, its own achievements, its own hopes and visions. And Chelmsford for me is special because I live in Lowell, first of all. So Chelmsford and Lowell, as you know, are very intermarried in many ways. They share many cultural events. They certainly have a shared business community. And as I like to say to people, well, basically all my stuff is in Chelmsford, because we go grocery shopping here, my dry cleaning is here. So it's really neat when you have the opportunity to cover a community where you have a special kinship, as well as your relationship as a journalist.
Yeah. And you cover quite a bit of our town.
Sure.
For example, you're here today at the Senior Center covering our Winterfest.
That's right.
We have a Chowder Fest here today, right?
Oh, yes.
How do you like it today? It's a good crowd, huh, Margaret?
Yeah, well, Winterfest is really a fabulous event, and in all honesty, I love covering community events, in general. But what's really neat about Chelmsford, and I say this very, very honestly after covering the town for 4 years, is there's a really great community life. And when you think about it, the Chowder Fest here kind of exemplifies that in many different ways. People come from all over. There are people from all generations. You have the Chelmsford High School Senior for Seniors who are helping with games, they're helping with activities, and they got up with the Senior Center volunteers and visitors to have some music and dancing and fun. And I think that in our time when people sometimes feel divided, that's really like a nice and natural and organic way to bring people together.
So, Margaret, do you decide what stories to cover for the Chelmsford Independent?
I do. My responsibilities include following the news and the events happening in Chelmsford and making decisions about where to allocate resources. And by that I mean, a reporter's time, photographers. Of course, as you yourself are very well expert at, these days that also includes the level of social media, as they say. So for example, I shoot a lot of Facebook Live videos from different places.
I subscribe to you on my YouTube channel.
Oh, great.
I look for your videos all the time.
And so we have YouTube videos that are embedded, as we say, in the stories that appear online on our companion website, chelmsfordwickedlocal.com. And I really feel that's also one way to really share with the community. So, for example, if you haven't seen it, you can go back and you can see me singing a song with the Vinyl Legion Band at their live band open mic at the American Legion, just actually right up the road a piece here.
Really? That's wonderful. Nice. And
so they didn't throw me out.
So how long do you think you'll be the editor? Is it indefinite, or it could be another 10, 20 years or something?
I think, that's a really excellent question for any professional. Life sometimes presents us with crossroads and opportunities. And I feel that for me, I want to stay as long as it makes sense, for me to stay. I feel very much at home in Chelmsford. I feel very much a part of the community, as well as being the editor of the paper Record that chronicles the community. And as I mentioned before, I live in Lowell, so I already feel a certain kinship, and I really look forward to being here and seeing what lies ahead, for my future and for the future of Chelmsford.
Yes. Yeah. And did you want to mention any kind of contact information for you?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I just conveniently happen to have a copy of this week's edition, if you don't mind giving a plug, and do, you can subscribe at mypapertoday.com. It's also in most of the stores here in town, so if you support them and patronize them, it is there as well. And so in addition to that, you can always email your press releases and notices and so forth to Chelmsford@wickedlocal.com.
Chelmsford@wickedlocal.com.
And also, our website is Chelmsford.wickedlocal.com, and you can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well, and I hope you do. And I always say, Tom, that the people who live in the community are the eyes and the ears and the witnesses of the community, as well as the shapers of the event. So I, as the editor, really depend on hearing from you, from the people in the community. Let me know what's important to you, what's going on, and let's have a conversation together.
Wonderful. Well, that's great, Tim. I always contact you too about stories. I'll talk to you later about when I contacted you about this week, and it's good to cover the local issue because you might not see that we usually won't in the Boston Globe, Boston Herald, New York Times. We don't see the local news. That's why I do the Chelmsford News TV show, of course, and we have the Chelmsford News Facebook group as well. But it's good to get that local information out there, right, Margaret? And you probably published the Winterfest schedule in the Chelmsford Independent.
Yes,
and
I do.
Could I ask about the number of subscribers that you have, or is that classified?
Let's see. No, the circulation of the paper right now, and I'm kind of, this is a guesstimate because, you know, the way we look at it is one issue of a paper equals 3 readers. So,
I see. Yeah.
So that's probably about, and we always have a joke about journalists and math. So, but we're probably just sort of directly day to day all the time. It's probably about at least 10% of the community, and then there's our online engagement as well.
Yes.
And so, I mean, really together, I feel and hope and work towards us being able to reach all of the community, and I feel like that's my job, to let the community know that I and the Chelmsford Independent are here for everyone.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for talking with us today, Margaret.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
I'm so glad we finally got a chance to do an interview. Hopefully we could do them every 6 months or at least once a year.
Sure.
And I think it'll be great. It was great talking with you, and thank you for covering our wonderful town. We both agree Chelmsford's a great town, right? As is Lowell.
Yeah, like I said, you know, it's really an amazing place with a lot of things.
Yes.
And if I can just mention, you know, Monday, February 4th, you all know the place to be is actually here at the Senior Center for special town meeting to be talking about how to keep chickens, how to do a lot of things, how to get work done in the town. So we'll be there with our live Twitter feed.
Wonderful.
And as will Chelmsford Telemedia. And a shout out to you, Tom, for all that you do to engage people in the town.
Oh, thank you.
And
thank you.
you know, being present at all the events and doing all the things that you do.
Thank you very much, Margaret. I love Chelmsford as you do. It's a great town. I've been here almost 42 years now in the same house. Thank God I bought it back in 1977 when I did, because today the prices are really out of sight.
We're living in different times.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I feel bad for the young people today because I just did an inflation calculation of what the amount would be from 1977 to now, just normal inflation, and compared that to the value of my house. So normal inflation, say my house would be up to $250,000, but the value of my house is more like $500,000. So for some reason, the increase in the price of real estate went up twice the amount of inflation during the past 42 years. And I feel bad for the young people because they're the ones who have to pay for that.
And that again is an issue that we do cover at the Chelmsford Independent, and we, as ever, recognize that there's always more than one side and sometimes many sides to any issue, whether it's the price of real estate or the affordability of any community. And again, that's another place where we really depend on folks talking to us about their concerns. We will not. It's not principally the newspaper's role to find solutions to those problems, but we can make a forum for people to talk about them. And that, I feel, an exchange of information and listening as well as talking is really the way to see the way forward.
Wonderful. And then, by the way, we have our local election coming up, right?
Yes, we do.
In first Tuesday in April.
April 2nd.
And we're in February now, so it's just 2 months away, here,
Yep.
approximately. So are you going to do an endorsement this year for a candidate or candidates?
It's the Chelmsford's independence policy and my policy to endorse when there is a contest. There's only been one time I think I did not do that, and I was briefly on medical leave during that time, so I felt like I would not be coming to the table as fully vested as I might. But we always talk to the candidates. We always check in, keep following our coverage of the elections as well as election day itself.
Yes.
And the candidates forums, and before we finish, I'll just quickly shout out, if you're an organization in town that hosts a debate, sponsors a debate, we would first of all like to hear about that so we can plan to cover it, and also so we can help get the word out. So again, chelmsford@wickedlocal.com. Let us know.
That's a great idea, Margaret. Well, thank you very much,
Thank you
Margaret
very
Smith.
much.
Good talking with you.
All right, Tom, we'll see you again soon in our travels.
We'll see you.
All right.
Bye now.